So my last video started at my front door. Thought I'd do the same thing again. Sarah Bear, time that I named it, I thought Sarah was like the first good woman in the Bible, so that's what I used. Right there, missing a part, and it's from the video that says trees that are hard to explain, you know, by nature. When I pulled over on the road that time, it started to slide because I was in a foot of snow, and I had to turn to get out of the slide, and then it kind of shot me out into the road. And noticed until a few days later that it ripped that off. So we're gonna go back and try to find it, and of course I'll show some other cool things while I'm up there. I just have to get ready first. It's like 8 in the morning right now. Try not to run into a rock when I say that this time. Well, these here are some rocks from the what we now call habitat area. This is a crystal form of hematite. And this is what I was digging for. When you clean these up, they look really nice. They're really, really hard to clean though. And then this one would have been really cool because this was a crystal. So that would have been a big quartz crystal that was shooting off of that thing. But, you know, the stuff is all broken up. And there's some fluorite in there. I don't know how well the camera shows some of the colors here. But this is from a different area. This would be closer actually to the river location where this came from. And see, there's broken crystals. All right, we're gonna head out. These trees here are the culprit that I wanna show you. See, like that one's bending kind of. You see these, there's no way any creatures or critters or Bigfoots or whatever are in there. So I'm gonna try to park and take a look at that. And this will be a good example. If I can not kill anybody here. These guys are getting off the highway. Alright, so I might get a cop that'll swing by, but that's alright. Just doing this real quick. Okay. Look at the X in the sky, guys. All you chemtrail guys out there. That's a Bigfoot X. Bigfoot must have been driving that plane. Alright. See these? Bending. That one's just bending over. This one's laying straight along the road. Those ones are bent. That one's broke. Those ones back there are bending. That one down there is bending. Geez, this actually looks really weird. But it's all just natural. I mean, it has to be. You know, there's no way anything came out here and did this. So these ones here, crisscrossing sorta. These ones just bending. But you don't see a ton of breaks, right? There's not like 5 trees or 10 trees within the canvas of the shot that are broken high up, and then, you know, nearby that area you've got some structures basically that are built with them. But see, nature can be weird. So this is important, I think. This is good to see this. See, even that one is broke. It looks like back there might be another one that's broke. Back further. You want to say like a Bigfoot traveled from those mountains, or where they are, you know, came all the way through, and no, they didn't. There's no way. And these houses that are back here have been here for at least 20 years, at least. So some funny looking stuff there, but that's all natural, you know. And an idea that I have is maybe they you know, they see this, and that's what gives them these ideas to do the manipulation work that they do, because you'll see it not just Colorado, right, but all these other states far away, and these things are doing the same exact stuff. So maybe they're just seeing what nature does and mimicking it. But anyway, these ones here are natural, so we're gonna go up and see some that are not. So we got the drone back. I'm going to show you, because I realize that you don't know you know, where the mountains are at versus where those trees are at that I just showed you off the highway. So I'm gonna send up Sparky here and attempt to anyway. Hopefully it's working, and you'll get an idea of where those trees are and where the forest is at, and how, you know, unpractical it would be for some Bigfoots to get there, you know. Yes, I need a new phone. They only last like a week anyway, so. Alright, we are recording. So there's the mountain range. It's freaking out now. All kinds of errors. That's what all the beeping is about. It's 140 feet. It's 160 feet. I don't know if you can even see it. Alright, and so there's the mountain range. That little bumpy area is actually where I go. If I could get it to turn. Oh, it just disconnected. So now it's going to do RTH. So RTH is returned to home. It just completely disconnected after sending me 55,000 errors. Show where the you can see where the mountain range is at, but I needed to turn it so you could see the highway. See how it's blinking red? Not good. And what the hell its problem is. Sorry, that's really loud and annoying, I know. I sent the drone up again and it did fine. It just did perfectly fine, so I don't know. I didn't even calibrate it. I don't know what's wrong with it. It started being temperamental. Anyway, so here's the footage of me sending it back up, and I turned so you can see the highway, and I'm going to point out where the trees are at, where I pulled off on the side of the road. So I know it looks like there's a forest there that could support something, but remember it was on the other side of the highway. That means they would have had to have crossed, and this whole area is populated pretty well, even where all those trees are at. So there's no way that they went from my forest that I showed you across that big place, and then there's also no way really that they crossed the highway to do that and then go back to wherever there was that they were. You know, it's just too far-fetched. It's just too unpractical. So those trees that we see, those little ones there, it's, in my opinion, from wind. We get some pretty high winds. The bigger trees are the ones that I don't accept was wind, and those are, you know, the other ones that I've been trying to show on top of builds and etc, etc, etc. And actually what I mean is, yes, wind can knock over big trees. That happens. We have proof of that. You know, what I'm saying is when they're broken, when there's a tree and it's literally broken off from where it was and moved to a different location. And then a lot of them are broken on the other side. You know, so they're broken on both ends, they're transferred. So now we have to say, okay, maybe it got knocked down, it hit a big boulder, snapped off, a flood. I mean, you know, really, at some point, there's some of these that you just cannot explain, and those are ones that I'm trying to show. I don't know what it is with Subarus, but it's 55 and I'm going 40. Oh. See, that guy at least moves over like a normal person. 55. Okay, I'm done. Alright, so we're just going up. Here's a normal looking forest. There's not tons of breaks. Of course, some of these trees are going to be broken. There's one just leaning over. So this is just a more example of just normal, how it, you know, how it should look. Not tons of stuff all over the place, broken. There's that little fence that we saw at the nighttime shot. So there's one that's broken up there. It's kind of weird, actually. It almost looked like it was just hit with a axe 9 feet up. Which maybe it was. How do I know? Alright, so back up in there is actually what we're now calling a habitat area. It's actually just around, it's kind of over this here. I don't think I'm going to be walking in there without, you know, maybe 2 other people. I don't know. Actually backing up. So you see when it's bent completely over like that, and then when they're laying on rocks like that, and then they're leaning around. Film the camera, drive the truck, shoot out the window. So that's when it starts to get a little suspicious. Okay, and this is the area where I know they are. This is where a tree's been broken at me. So that's an example of when it starts to, you start to at least question it. Like, okay, this could still be completely natural, sure. I happen to know though that this area is active, and that right there, you know, I'm not going to say it was them, but I believe that it actually probably was. All right, this is the spot. I'm going to need 4-wheel to get out of this. There's another Toyota coming. Alright, so there's, my tracks are still there, at least a little bit. That's what I got into, so it's a good thing I was in a lifted vehicle with 35-inch tires. And there's my part right there. Found it! Love my truck. Got the missing piece. Alright, yes! Yes, 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 yes! Yeah! Some Bigfoot attention. So yeah, look at that. That's what I was in, because I didn't know it was that deep. I was in 2-wheel drive and I pulled into it, and then I was filming a little bit of here. I don't know if I included it in the video or not. And then I started to go and I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. So I put it in 4-wheel, still couldn't go forward. So I just backed up. And then once I started getting momentum, you know, I was going up into this hill, and then I turned because obviously the hill, you can see what happened. So I turned and it went jacked up in there, knocked this off, and then just shot me into the road, which obviously is dangerous, but it's not like I tried to do that. Oh, so glad I got this. Yes. I was thinking I was gonna have to go to a junkyard. So here's some people footprints, you guys. So that's, I don't know what the hell anybody is doing out here, but you can see how small they are. So here's my foot, pretty much identical. And side by side, which is a thing I learned recently. Pretty big steps. Well, not there. Over there. But yeah, here's, I guess I'll just walk. We can see a good example. I'm just walking normal. Actually, I'm actually trying to take a bit of a bigger stride, just to see what it might look like, you know. So there's what it looks like. Almost, some areas it almost looks like it's in line. And over here, you can other areas you can see it clearly isn't. And then look at that. I'm not, you know, even thinking when I'm doing this, and so our feet kind of point out, you know, like that. So, but yeah, you can, except for up there. So I guess the only reason it's in a line there because I walked to avoid that. But otherwise, you can clearly see side by side. So those, you know, those ones I got at nighttime are just looking a little bit bizarre. Very glad I got the piece of Sarah Bear back. When I yelled like that, I'm sure got somebody's attention. So we are going to drive up a little bit forward more here. See, like these trees those two of them are like bent in up there, and then that other one's leaning down on it. I mean, I just showed you a good example of how, you know, that can be natural. But when you see that with the little manipulation thing that I showed in my video, it just starts to then look suspicious. So I'll show you, and I'll keep the camera going. It's just right down here. All right. I need 4-wheel to get out of this. Oh, what? In the back. I'm sure not too many people come out in the woods and holler at the top of their lungs. So, see, some people are walking there. I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's cool with the winter time here, as you can see tracks. And so let's see, I parked right here. Oh, big turn. All right. Just gonna leave the truck on. And, you know, I'll just leave my door open too. Yeah, being paranoid. The stuff I've been through, I don't blame myself. So there's the one that's in my video. And so that's what I mean when it's close to what is up there, you know, that just looks suspicious. So anyway, that's the one there from last time. Just walked up here, just walked up a little bit. So then I thought that I saw something that looked kind of out of place up here. You know, kind of like that. Like, see, this is big. That's a big piece though. Nature does weird things. I just pretty much proved that, I know. But you see how it's a big piece, and I know this is something that they do. Lay them across the road. You know, so where in the hell did that come from? It's not the top of that tree. This tree here is too small. There's no branches. So it's interesting though, obviously that end's broken. So, see, the other end is also broke off. And it's not there. See, like how that tree is over here? Okay, I got snow boots. I'm gonna go put them on. And then I'm gonna go take a close look at what's going on up there. And here, there's a tree leaning, and I thought that it was one that didn't come from there, so I'm gonna go look at that too. But I'm gonna put on my military boots. Hey, look, a dime. Huh. Cool. Yay, I got the part of my truck back and a dime. US Air Force boots. Have this big wool lining on the inside. And normally what you do is zip these up and then put your pants on the outside, but I don't really care right now. Gun's there. Alright, I'm gonna go take a look at something up here. Be right back. Alright, I'm gonna purposely walk through this snow, trying not to think about it, so I make some natural prints. I'm trying not to breathe heavy into the camera because I know it's annoying, but it's really hard to do. I pretty much look like my other ones. See, it just so happens it's got another tree bent underneath it, and it's Just so happens that it fell in between. And then here, you see these sticks? You're like, oh, come on, Dustin, that could be anything. Well, I agree, but where did it come from? That's what they do. They lay them like this, saying to people, don't come this way, so that we subconsciously just, you know, see that it's not a path, it's not an egress. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say here, is that when you see so many things like this in one spot. Now here's another thing. Look at this little piece that's broken. See? It's not the top of that tree. It could be the end of this. And if it is, how did the end of that break off and end up over here? Right? See these pieces down here? That's what it should look like. It shouldn't be upside down over here. And it's actually stuck in the ground here, look. It shouldn't be like that. And again, just so coincidentally has this one bent underneath it. I want to go and see what's going on, if it's up in the air or what, but I also don't really want to go in this. So here's another example, guys, when I know something's going on. You see this piece? Can you see that? It's not part of this. I mean, it's probably part of it, it's broke off and it's set in here sideways. That's not supposed to be like that. And then look, why is this branch set on it here? Why is that like that? So this is what I mean. It starts to become really weird. This other one here too, see? This is set here. I just can't see what's going on though with the end of it. I'm gonna have to walk around. Alright guys, so there's the end of it, okay? It's not even from here. You see that? And now look back there. This other tree is sitting on top of it. You know, coincidentally, it's going right between these two trees. And coincidentally, it's got another one over here bent underneath it. You see? That's not even close to it. Alright? And then like I just showed also, coincidentally, there's all these little pieces stuck in and around it. And then that bush there is the one that has that piece up there. And it's up, you know, it's about 7.5 feet. And then this piece here, coincidentally, doesn't belong there and is just laying there. And this is right across from where, you know, the reason that started all this is because I stopped. I saw, you know, coincidentally again, these are leaning up against this big boulder. And that weird little manipulation job is over there. A lot of coincidences. Never thought I'd be one of these guys doing this, but here I am. Alright, so let's see what we got here. See, that one grew there. It could be natural, and that one's kind of leaning. But see, this one was broke and pushed down. And look up there. It's like it caught another one kind of under it. And again, it could be natural, but this is a lot of stuff going on. Now, I see another one here I'm going to go look at. And then see how these are set here? These actually didn't come from here. Why are they set in here like this? Right? So we have some examples of nature, and we have some examples of something, in my opinion, that is not nature. Alright, so there we can see also where this one came from. You know, it's right there. But look at the way it fell. Or got pushed over. It's got one bending under it. That just looks really out of place. And it's broke here. And look, it's darting off that way. The other piece of it's underneath there. And I bet this isn't even in the ground. Yep, it's not. Look. That's just sitting there on it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and boogie out of here because this is... it's just a little creepy. But there you go. You see how that looks real out of place, and it broke, and then that piece is darting off different direction. And then look at this. It just bent over. You see, it's just... God, it's steep here. Some military boots on. That's just bent completely over. Oh, and there we go. There's another. Look at that. Oh, okay. I can't frickin' stand here. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. So that piece is upside down. Laying in there upside down. This is where I was sliding. Alright, I don't want to say I rest my case, because the skeptics are still going to say all these weird things could be natural, but I'm just going to have to disagree.